सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। I welcome you all with my love and respects. Let's enter into today's subject. Today's subject is enlightenment is beyond bliss. 142nd Sutra of Patanjali's Yoga Sutra, in the 3rd chapter, 36th verse. Let me enter into the Sutra. Sattva Purushayor Adyanta Sankirnayo Pratyaya Visesho Bhoga Pararthat Swartha Samyamat Purusha Jnanam. A long sutra. Let me read it out once more. Sattva Purushayoho Adyanta Asankirnayo Pratyaya Avisesha Bhoga Paratat Swartha Samyamat Purushajnanam. Swami Vivekananda translates this sutra as: enjoyment comes through the non-discrimination of the soul and sattva, which are totally different. This enjoyment is for the sake of the soul. There is another state of sattva called swartha, its own pure state. The practice of samyama on this state gives the knowledge of the Purusha. Swami Prabhavananda translates as: the power of enjoyment arises from a failure to discriminate between the Atman and Sattva Guna, which are totally different. The Sattva Guna is merely an agent of the Atman, which is independent, existing only for its own sake. By making samyama on the independence of the Atman, one gains knowledge of the Atman. Swami Sachidananda translates as: the intellect and Purusha are totally different. The intellect existing for the sake of Purusha, while the Purusha exists for its own sake. Not distinguishing this is the cause of all experience, and by samyama on the distinction, knowledge of Purusha is obtained. Bhagavan Osho translates as: the experience is the result of the inability to differentiate between Purusha and pure consciousness and Sattva, pure intelligence, although they are absolutely distinct. Performing samyama on the self interest brings knowledge of the Purusha separated from the knowledge of the others. Let's enter into the sutra, the sacred secret. It is more deeper and philosophical. Patanjali comes to one of the peaks samyama. He gives samyama for enlightenment. Please understand. Each day he was giving a technique and technology for experiencing different powers, extraordinary powers. Today is coming to the enlightenment. He is giving us samyama for directly to achieve enlightenment. I'll finish the whole sutra in just 2 lines. I'll reveal the sacred secret in the sutra, then I'll expand on every word. Understand? The whole essence, the sacred secret in the sutra is, whenever you go through any intense experience like a joy or suffering or peace or silence or awareness, just turn your awareness, your consciousness to who is going through this experience. That's all. Ramana Maharshi finishes this whole thing, subject, in 1 line. Just look who is having the experience. That's all. This sacred secret only is explained with too many words in an elaborate way in this sutra. Now I will get into the philosophical theories. The first truth, Patanjali is establishing some 5 theories in this sutra and coming to the conclusion and asking you to do samyama on the conclusion after explaining 5 theories. The first theory, please understand, I'll explain step by step the whole theory. The first theory is, the joy you experience, the intellect which experiences the joy, pure consciousness, and the stuff out of which joy is made, all 4 are independent things. First theory, please understand. The joy you experience. When I say joy, you can understand the joy, pain, fear, any experience you go through. The experience and the intellect which experiences the experience, and the stuff out of which experience is made. These are very subtle truths. And the pure consciousness which is a witness on which all these experiences are being played. All 4 are independent. Understand? This is the first theory. One more thing I wanted to tell you. When I utter these theories, if it clicks with you, accept it. If it doesn't click, it's okay, don't bother. You don't need to remember this. You don't need to force yourself to believe this, because sometime a man will be able to click with the concept of soul, that you have a soul and that is the ultimate energy. But he may not be able to click with the concept of God. Somebody may be able to click with the concept of God, but he may not be able to click with the concept of soul. But I wanted you to know, the concept of God, concept of soul, all are truth. Only if you click with it, it can lead you to the highest truth. The concept itself is truth, but it cannot lead you to the truth if you don't click with it, or if it doesn't click with you. So if it clicks with you, it will lead you to the truth. See, just like how my word, I am uttering some word. I am telling you, let you live long, let you be blissful. If you have some click with me, connection, that word will simply become reality in your life. The moment I say, if you think, who are you to bless me? Who asked you to bless? Who knows your words will come true? Then naturally, there is no relationship. the words are not going to work on you. It is the click, the connection, whether it is Apta Pramana or Shastra Pramana, only when you click, it is going to become Atma Pramana. If not, it is not going to be Atma Pramana. Please understand. Whether it is the words of the scriptures or words of the master will become experience of you only when you click with it. Not otherwise. Not otherwise. So, Apta, Atma, Shastra, all three pramanas will become reality in your life only when you connect with it, not otherwise. The first theory. I can give you one example. There are some people who experience all experiences always in the head, only in the face. If you look little deep and do samyama, you will understand. There are some people who go through all their experiences only in the heart. There are some people who goes through all experiences in the stomach. There are some people for whom all experiences, that feeling which you have in the thighs when you are sexually awakened. That is why Upanishad very clearly declares, the man who experiences all experience in the face is Brahmana. There is a beautiful sutra, Upanishad sutra. Repeat panniyapa. Brahmanasya mukhamasit. Very beautifully the Upanishad declares. Understand, but this Upanishad is completely misinterpreted. Who wants to destroy our Vedic tradition, as this Upanishad promotes the community concept and telling the Shudras are lower level beings. No. Understand? This Upanishad does not say that if you are born for a Shudra father, you are a Shudra. No. It only says, if all your energy is always centered on the thighs, you are Shudra. You need to understand. They are not saying it is like a community. No. Understand. Our Vedic tradition always categorized human beings based on their quality. And unfortunately, the similar quality people have started staying together and started forming their own groups. Because they need to have their life and their entertainment. All the people with a different mental setup, each group, they started staying together. Then slowly it became a kind of a community. And you can't blame Vedic tradition for that. Our Vedic tradition allowed, first they classified human beings based on the habits and attitudes. If you are experiencing all experiences in the face, your experiences are more sensitive, subtle. They are more breeze-like. The simple things are enough to make you feel content. You don't need a grass, awakened feeling. I can't describe more than this. Which you experience between your thighs. and in the thighs, when you are grassly awakened, you know the experiences, how they differ. I tell you, in Vedic tradition, the community is clearly defined. If all your experience, most of your experiences are faced in the intellect, you are closer to sattva, easy for you to have enlightenment. If all your experiences are based on the heart, Vaishya, please understand. Even when you are doing business, while you are giving something, even if you are going to take something from them, when you are giving, the heart vibrates with certain experience. So Vaishya is supposed to be constantly giving, broad heart. Vaishya will be successful if he can give more than what he receives, or if he makes others believe he is giving more than what he is receiving. Next, all experiences based on stomach. Kshatriya needs to have a strong stomach because he has to continuously stomach so many experiences. He needs to have a strong guts. Continuously, he needs to be stomaching different experiences. Kshatriya, who is based on the stomach. And the fellow whose strongest experience in his life is only between thighs, he is the Shudra. Nothing can be done. The word Shudra should be understood very clearly in Vedic tradition. It is not because you are born to somebody. No. Your birth does not decide your community. Your mental setup and attitude decides community. How you think, act, live, that decides your community. If strongest experiences in your life is only in the thighs, you will never be able to separate you and the experience. Experience, intellect which experiences the experience, stuff out of which the experience is made, and your consciousness, all four will be completely mixed. It cannot be separated at all. Very difficult. Second, in the stomach, if all your experiences are based on stomach, the experience and the intellect which experiences the experience can be separated, but not the consciousness and stuff out of which experience is made. That is why Kshatriya is always ready to give up his life for what he believes. You don't need to curse a Kshatriya. He is foolish enough to kill himself for the foolish concepts or intellectual conviction he has. All you need is just convince him he is invincible. And Losing a war, failure is much worse than death in the heart. The Vaishya part. He can separate the experience and the stuff out of which experience is made, but not the intellect and the consciousness. That is why Vaishya will always be stuff-based, matter-based. He will be ready to give up anything for his wealth. He will, if a thief comes, if a robber comes, if a burglar comes, he will die by being killed by the thief, but he will not allow the thief to take the wealth. He will not let go the wealth. Stuff-based. He can't separate the stuff. A Brahmana can separate the experience and the intellect which perceives the experience and the stuff out of which experience is made, but not the pure consciousness. Only a man who can separate all the four, experience, intellect which perceives the experience, the stuff out of which experience is made, and the pure consciousness on which the whole drama is being played. If you can separate all the four by samyama, you will have enlightenment. It's a very subtle concept. I am putting it on record. You will be able to practice this only if you have passed the Pradeepa Samyama, means that mirror Samyama, which I said. 11 days, if you continuously experience that you are mirroring everything, mirroring everything, mirroring everything, that Samyama will prepare you for the next Samyama of Anandagandha. Maybe Anandagandha Samyama, if it can be done for 5 days, then after that, if you enter into today's Samyama, what Patanjali is talking, for 3 days, I can assure you will have a strong Satori experience. A very powerful, understand? 11 days the Pradeepa Samyama, 5 days the Anandagandha Samyama, and 3 days this Samyama. Samyama on the pure consciousness, separating all the four. Experience, intellect which perceives the experience, stuff out of which experience is made, and pure consciousness on which all this drama is happening. If you, actually your mind needs to be completely sensitive and highly aware. Some of the Bhashyakaras, commentators are saying, even if a sound is created, your ears should become red. You should become that sensitive. If a strong sound is created, immediately your ears should become red. I can say, the moment I walk into the room, even with closed eyes, you are able to feel the experience. My presence. You are ready for this Samyama, the today's Samyama. So even if the eyes are closed, your eyes are closed, if I walk into the room, if you just know in the body, wow, Swamiji is here, the presence, you have become sensitive for this samyama. 11 days of Pradeepa and 5 days of Anandagandha Samyama will make you that sensitive that this Samyama can directly work. It can help you. But without Pradeepa Samyama and Anandagandha Samyama, this Samyama you will not be able to do. One more thing, whenever I say these 11 days of Pradeepa Samyama, I mean whole day, whenever you remember, try to do the Samyama. That's all. I am making it very clear. Whole day, whenever you remember, feel you are mirroring. That's it. In that way, 11 days Pradeepa Samyama, 3 days Anandagandha Samyama, 5 days Anandagandha Samyama, and 3 days this Samyama. Samyama on experience and the pure consciousness. You will have a strong satori. You will have glimpse of enlightenment. It's a very powerful samyama. Maybe if some of you are committed to enlightenment as life's first priority, you can practice this. Actually, you will see whenever an experience happens, how that stuff, chemical out of which experience is made. You will understand the chemistry of experience. That will lead you to the pure, restful awareness, which is enlightenment. Pure, restful awareness, which is enlightenment. I can't even guide you into the samyama because there is no concentration on any spot. You just need to sit and contemplate on how experience happens in you, how your intellect perceives that experience, how the stuff out of which experience is made is experienced by you, and the pure inner space on which all this drama is happening. You need to do samyama strongly. But this samyama directly leads to enlightenment. I bless you all. Let you all achieve, experience, live, express, radiate and share the eternal bliss, Nityananda. Thank you.
Putting all my trust in you, 'cause you know it's best for me to lead a blissful life, a life with no more strife. I can't believe the things I do, just to spend a little time with you. Nothing will compare. I know you will take care.
You're always showing us compassion. Your love is endless like